Let's continue the discussion now with Ambassador John Bolton, who served as White House National Security Advisor under the Trump administration. Good morning to you, Ambassador. You've called China the existential threat in the 21st century. Of all the actions we just heard of in that report, what alarms you the most?
Well, I think it's really the combination of everything that China is doing today and has been doing for 30 plus years across the full spectrum of activity. This is not just a military threat or a political threat. It's an economic threat. They've been stealing our intellectual property and then selling products made from it back into our markets at subsidized prices. They've used firms like Huawei and ZTE that they portray as telecommunications firms that are actually arms of the Chinese state. And we've been slow to wake up to it. I think some of the testimony you just put on the screen is very important as Congress and the public are better informed about it. More and more people see just how grave the threat is. But nobody should underestimate it, and nobody should think we really fully have our arms around it yet.
Yeah, you mentioned those technology companies, video surveillance technology that in November of last year, they were banned from being used by the U.S. But intelligence officials say they believe China wants to avoid an escalation of tensions with our country. Then there are concerns that all of these numbers of threats, including the spy balloon, will lead to an open conflict. You've met with China's leader, Xi Jinping. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, let's take the intelligence community leaders' idea that China wants to keep tensions down. Sure they do. If we're lulled into thinking that everything's fine, they're going to be able to achieve their objectives much more easily. You know, for many years, Beijing followed a policy that they called hide and bide, which was a shortcut for saying hide your capabilities and bide your time, meaning precisely lull the Americans and others into thinking that our capabilities aren't that great, that we're not pressing any schedule. So when we finally wake up and see what they're actually up to, that's not us increasing the tensions. That's us understanding that this threat has been there for quite some time and has been growing. So I think it's important when we talk about the level of tension, we haven't caused this tension. We're not the ones trying to press ahead and take control of fifth-generation telecommunications, for example, to mine even more data from America, Europe, Japan, and elsewhere. These threats are emanating from China, and it's up to us and our friends and allies to deal with them.
Well, I'm thinking of what you're saying about hide and bide. Is that Xi's strategy as he enters this third term? And should the U.S. tactically prepare for that so that we're not this sleeping giant?
Yeah, look, actually Xi Jinping's foreign service really abandoned hide and bide and adopted what they called wolf warrior diplomacy. And we've seen a little bit of that in the past week or 10 days. Their new foreign minister really attacked the United States. Xi Jinping himself attacked the United States for trying to surround China, constrain it, put a NATO-type alliance around it. And certainly we are working with friends and allies to try and bolster our collective defense capabilities, but we're not doing it in an unprovoked way. We had plenty of other things we could do with our resources. We're trying to respond and get deterrent structures in place against China's aggressive and in many cases belligerent behavior.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned wolf warrior diplomacy. This is much more aggressive. She is the author of that, as you mentioned. But what is the tactic that the U.S. can use that would be effective with China's strategies or scenarios? Because you think about the balloon. It was sent over the United States. You've said that it should have been shot down sooner. You think about the threats that they're making against Taiwan. Do you think that they will invade? And should the U.S. just preemptively prepare for that?
Yeah, I think our objective, of course, should be to prevent an invasion, to deter the Chinese, to make it clear that when they are even thinking about that kind of aggressive behavior, it's going to cost them a lot more if they undertake it than they think. That's the way you preserve peace and stability and also protect American interests. But I do think we should be fair to the American people here. This is going to cost a lot of money. We're going to need a substantial increase in our defense budget, our intelligence budget, and at a time of very high deficits, the arithmetic's pretty plain. We've got to bring domestic spending down, not only to reduce the deficit, but we've got to bring it down even more to compensate for the necessary national security expenditures we need to preserve the freedom that makes our system the way it is.
I have to get to this. I know that I need to get this question in about Mexico because the cartels have come up so much in the news as of late. Do you believe that they should be labeled in Mexico as foreign terrorist organizations?
You know, I do not. I don't underestimate their threat. I've been talking about it for a long time. We're very worried about it in the Trump administration. The cartels in Mexico, the cartels in Colombia have been growing in strength. But I think it fuzzes things up to label something as bad as the drug cartels a terrorist organization. They're not like Hamas or Hezbollah. It's a different threat. It's a serious problem. As I say, I'm not underestimating it at all. But I think rhetorical gimmicks don't help advance policy.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.